so impressed if I had like a 20-minute sermon that was keyed up right now. Yeah, on this particular day. 20 minutes. I'm just going to keep talking at you. Okay, so that is not remotely true. We are going to have a conversation because I really like talking to you guys. It's crazy. Okay, so I would like for us to open up the Shabbat program, and we're going to read about moderation. For those of you who do not know, we have been studying the spiritual path of Musar, which is our holy tradition of spiritual introspection and renewal. And we're doing this in order to prepare for the high holidays, which are coming up in not so distant a future. All right, so let's read together about moderation. Most of us actually prefer a life of moderation. We don't want to sleep all day or go without sleep. We don't want to eat until we feel we are going to burst or starve. We don't want to work to exhaustion or be absolutely idle. Only fanatics would reject those values. And yet the fact is that most of us have a tendency towards extremes and away from the middle path to which we claim allegiance. Were we habitually run up against difficulty and repeatedly cause suffering in our lives, to ourselves and those around us, lack of moderation is the culprit. So, like most of the Musar teachings, this seems obvious, right? Like nobody read this and was like, oh yeah, that's really profound. I really never thought that perhaps we shouldn't be, going to this extreme or that extreme. Musar is very much about what we already know to be true. And yet, it's all the things that we don't do, all the things that are hard to do that we know it would be better for us if we did. So let's talk about moderation. What makes moderation so difficult? Yeah, we can't get everything done in a specific time, so you gotta go, 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 go. Okay, so it's like an intensity. Okay, Brian?
Popular culture rewards extremes. Extreme accomplishments in athletics, extreme prowess in a variety of things.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat you. So our friends at home, Brian is saying that our culture specifically really honors and reveres extreme prowess in sports, and you mentioned 3 other things when I was walking down the steps and lost focus.
Well, that's because I was stumbling on the other things.
Oh, okay, so all those things.
In benevolence.
Benevolence, yes.
You can't be Bill Gates and give away $20 billion that you feel like you're somehow like.
Yes. If you are not the absolute extra best in every single thing that you do, then you are somehow missing out, and really you're not coming up to par. All right, Cohen, and then I'll walk around a little bit.
Chocolate.
Chocolate is really hard.
And in abundance.
Okay, there you go. I think that that is, yeah. If you can eat, if there's unlimited sources of chocolate, how could you not?
It's boring. Oh, okay. Moderation is boring.
Oh, so true. So true. Did you have your hand up, sir?
Well, we reward the Nobel Prizes, which are extreme accomplishments.
We do. So extreme accomplishments. Absolutely. Jill.
Just simply moderation is hard because you have to have real self-control to be able to do it.
Self-control? Oh, who wants that? Yes, self-control. Richard.
I think the difficulty in moderation is that our impulse is never in that direction, that moderation requires judgment, a control over our impulses. And controlling our impulses is difficult. But we don't want to have too much moderation either. That's the thing we need to watch out for.
Right, absolutely. Moderation in moderation. Thank you for that. So in Musar, we learn that in order to increase a particular value, like moderation, it's not actually helpful to focus on moderation. It's not helpful to focus on the restraint that's so hard. Because as soon as you start focusing on something that you can't do, all you want to do is that thing. You know, we never really get over being two, you know, and the kid is just like, I want that thing that's in front of them. So we have to figure out what the opposite drive of moderation is. So if you were to think about, so the extremes of moderation are overindulgence and asceticism, right? So Judaism does not like either of these, right? You're not supposed to drink to excess, but you are allowed and encouraged to enjoy drink up to a healthy point, right? Except for Purim, when you're supposed to be excessive because we must be moderate with our moderation. Exactly. So let's think about, but the same goes for asceticism, right? So we don't revere in Judaism people who completely abstain from all of life's pleasures. In fact, the rabbis teach us that focusing too much on asceticism is as sinful as grossly overindulging. Meaning we were put on this earth in order to appreciate God's gift to us. And God expects us to appreciate God's gifts in moderation. So what do you think could be the opposite of moderation? What would be this is a hard question, I didn't get it on the first try, but does anybody want to throw out an idea of what is the opposite drive of moderation? Okay, Cohen. Survival, okay. Okay. Right, so you need to survive. You know, we're squirrels, right? We have the need to hoard all of our nuts. But they hoard their nuts because they need them to get through the winter. So how much is enough? And that's very hard to say.
I think a good word would be balance at this point. Balance speaks for itself. How to do something and balance with other things.
Right, so balance is what we're trying to achieve. Balance is moderation. So if we're not doing things in moderation, there has to be some other impulse that is spurring us to go the opposite direction.
Enthusiasm, passion.
Okay, so enthusiasm and passion, absolutely. Julie, we have you for one more week.
The antonym would be excess.
Ooh, excess. Okay.
Moderation and then
To excess. Okay, so I would say it's actually like a tripod. So there's moderation I won't make that my middle finger. There's moderation in the middle, right? There's overindulgence, like you were saying, excess. And then on the other side is asceticism. And since we're supposed to be in the middle, what is the drive to go overindulge or to be ascetic? And you were saying passion, and what was the other word you used? Enthusiasm. Okay, so my favorite things. However, the Musar teachers threw something out that was a little bit out of left field. Desire. So this is sort of speaking to what Richard was saying about passion and enthusiasm, right? Our desires lead us toward overindulgence or asceticism. So in order to strengthen our value of moderation, we have to be very introspective and notice what our desires are and accommodate for them in healthy ways. Because the rabbis teach us that no particular value is value negative, right? So passion is neutral. It can be passion for something amazing, or it can be passion that's going to get you in terrible trouble. So the rabbis are teaching us that in order to moderate our desires, we have to focus and be aware of our desires. Not after they snowball and we're in a situation that we can't get out of, but when they're like whispering in our ear, like, oh, maybe you should really go for that third cookie. Like you have to hear that you wanted the first cookie, before you get all the way down to like you've eaten the entire box, just as a personal example. Okay.
So I just want to throw self-respect into the conversation, because one of the things that's been helping me be moderate in terms of eating is the fact that if I do have that third cookie, I may enjoy eating it tremendously, and I do, but then I don't respect myself for it afterwards. So there's consequences to being extreme one way or the other.
Right, and the rabbis, just to follow up on that, the rabbis finished their conversation about moderation by saying we even need to be moderate in our reaction to our excesses, right? So we are going to err. We are going to err. And when we err, we are required to be kind to ourselves so that we can get right back on the horse and do what we need to do. Okay, one more. I'm not going for all the telling-offs over here, okay? One telling-off. Is it going to be Ron or is it going to be Helen? You're going to fight it out? Okay, go ahead.
How do they handle the concept of excellence?
Excellence?
Yeah, in this moderation thing,
You can be as excellent as you want to be,
as long as you're moderate.
just moderate about it.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, moderation doesn't have anything to do with success or lack of success. Moderation has to do with balancing different, how, it's not about self-control. Okay, so you can be as excellent as you want, just don't push yourself to be, well, yeah, but you can't be excellent all the time. No, seriously, Ron, you can't be excellent all the time. You can push yourself to excellence, but it's excessive to push yourself to excellence in every aspect of your life. If you want to be excellent in this one thing, focus on this one thing. If you want to be excellent in every different aspect of your life, you are going to burn out, and it's going to be a bad scene for everyone that you know and yourself. And that's how I'm going to end this. Okay, well, that was exciting. Okay, so because we're in this time of reflection, we're in the month of Elul, this is the month leading up to the high holidays, we are supposed to be preparing for the high holidays, as we just did with this excellent conversation. But another thing that we can do is listen to the blast of the shofar in order to wake ourselves up during this month, so that the first time when we hear the shofar blast on Slichot or on Rosh Hashanah, it's not the first time that we're woken up. So I had this whole thing that we were going to read, but I feel like we talked for much longer than I thought we were going to talk. So I'm just going to say the blessing and blow the Torah, blow the shofar. Okay, it's better than lighting the Torah, which is what I say sometimes about the candles. But I do hope that you'll take this home and read it, because I think it's quite beautiful. So I'm going to get a shofar. And I am aware that my daughter is actually the one who is the shofar blower in the family now. Okay, so Baruch atah Adonai shomea trua. Blessed are you, Adonai, who hears the sound of the shofar. Okay, you ready? Okay, I don't know if I'm ready. Okay, I'm done. Tip your waitress on the way out.